Alright, so we are going today to be creating a Jeff Koons inspired balloon reindeer. We're going to go step by step. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to create an oval. This is going to be its body, ovalo. So we make an oval. I'm using marker just so you can see it. You should be using a pencil so you can erase if you feel you need to. So we make our oval. That's our body, ovalo. Then we're gonna make a second oval, and this is gonna be the neck. Now this one's gonna be more of a teardrop oval shape. So I'm bringing in an oval that's a teardrop shape so that I have my reindeer's neck moving up. Okay, so teardrop oval. We're gonna make, most of these shapes are gonna be ovals, ovalo, most ovalos, because they're balloons. Our next shape we'll make is the head. And that's another pointed oval. Now this one, because this is the end of the balloon, you know, where they tie the knot, it's going to have a little triangle shape. So that's where they tie the knot of the balloon, because these are all the little balloon twisties. Okay, so far we have uno ovalo for the body, one oval for the body, dos ovalo for the neck. So second oval is the neck, and tres ovalo, that's the third oval, is the head. Okay, then we're going to start to create our tail. Now this one's a little bit weird. So we start off kind of making like a C shape. See how it's like the letter C? But this is the very end of the balloon. So the end of the balloon doesn't have as much air in it. And it's the tail, and you kind of just bring the little tail out. It's up to you if you make it a little bit shorter, but it's just like the tail of the balloon. Okay? Once we have its body, its neck, its head, its tail, we're gonna make its legs. And our reindeer has how many legs? 4 legs. So we're gonna start off with the 2 that are closest to us. This is gonna be another oval. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of an L-shaped oval. So we kind of make an L. You wanna go over here and make another L. So like an L. Then we're gonna kind of make it like a balloon letter. So we're gonna bring it in. It doesn't even have to be perfect. It's just a balloony letter. Like so. So now we have 1, 2 legs. How many legs does reindeer have? 4. So we need to get the other 2. So these are going to be in perspective a little bit farther away from us. So we're going to then make 1. And we're just following the line that we've already done. 2 ovals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 legs now. So going back over the things we have a body, we have a neck, we have its head, we have its tail, and 4 legs. So far, if you were to count out how many ovals we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ovals. So all of that is mas ovalos. Now we want to make its little reindeer-y ears. To make that, I'm going to make one of those little L shapes. See how there's like an L shape? I'm going to bend it around to make that little oval, okay? And then I'm going to mirror it. So I bring a little line up, kind of mirroring what I have here. And then I'm going to bring another line down. So now I have 2 ears, those ears. Once I have that, I want to have the antlers because that's really what makes it look like a reindeer. Now for the reindeer, I'm going to bring up 1 curve line. I'm going to bring over here a second curve line, okay? So that kind of starts our shapes. I kind of think if we're looking at the reindeer's ears, it looks like an E. So I'm going to bring this line going around, curve it in, bring it coming out, curve another one. See how it kind of looks like the letter E right there. And then I bring my line in. So I have that E shape. I'm gonna bring that onto the other one. So bringing in a little E shape, and then this one doesn't have as much E, but it's still an E. So 2 little E shapes for its antlers. Now, Jeff Koons was all about texture, and we're making a reflection so that it looks like it has like a mirror finish, that it's kind of, the balloon is all shiny, but also his things are made out of metal. So we have to have value. Value is how the lightness hits the darkness. So we're going to then start to create some value. So the highlights are these little circles where the light is going to be the brightest. So we're gonna make a couple circles where you're going to have the brightest highlights. So where the light would be hitting the balloon the most. So you're making all these little highlights where any part where the sun or a light source would hit the balloon. Some of them might be small little highlights, but we're making where the lightest part of the balloon would get some light source. So these are our little highlights. And once we have the highlights, we want to have the shadows where the light, if the light source is right here, the area where it'd be casting the darkest shadow. So we're going to take, I'm going to create a line where we have a nice dark shadow. It's just a little curved line, because if the light's here, it's kind of going where the opposite one. This one curves around because the head is also making a little bit of a shadow on it. So this is going to be our darker area. So we have our shadows. So now I have all my shadow areas. I want to add an area that is, so we have our sculpture, but it has to have its little stand that the sculpture stands on. Okay, so we're gonna take and we're gonna create a rectangle. This is just a simple rectangle. Now we want to make it 3D so it looks like it has form. So I'm gonna bring a little diagonal line coming out. So I have a diagonal line. Once I have that diagonal line, I can then make a horizontal line to connect it. It might come off the page a bit. That's fine, okay? So now I have what it's standing on. I still have this area right here. So I'm gonna finish that up. I'm gonna bring out a diagonal line. If you have enough space, you can maybe bring down another vertical line, like right here. But mine's kind of coming off the page. So we want to think about our shadows here. So we have our light source. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow right around where the sculpture might be hitting a shadow on it. Okay, so we have some light source on there as well for value. Once we've done that, we're going to then color it in with complementary colors. Do you remember when we're using our complementary colors, you're picking your primary color. Our reindeer is going to be the primary color, and then our secondary color that's opposite. So maybe this is going to be red and green here, or maybe you want it to be where it's blue and then its opposite is orange. Maybe you want it to go yellow and then its opposite would be purple. So you look at your color wheel and you see that primary color and what its opposite gives you your complementary colors. Okay, complementary colors is one of our icons. Our icons on this project is I can learn value and I can learn texture. So we're making a shiny texture with our value, and I can learn complementary colors. Okay, and you should know your 3 different types of complementary colors. So Our next step is to color in with colored pencils. Okay, so I have my reindeer. I'm going to then pick my color. I'm going to go with the complementary colors red and green. Okay, so I'm going to start with my red. So I have my base color. When I'm coloring my base color, I want it to be where I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. So I'm just using one color pencil and I'm just coloring in, and I'm not pressing down hard at all, okay? So when I'm coloring in, I'm just getting my main color right here. Now, so now I have my little highlight there, and I can leave that just white. And then I can go in and I can press a little bit harder. Might mess up your pencil a bit. Okay, so we take our little pencil, we have our little shavings. Remember, our sharpeners have three parts: our little metal part, our holder, and then the collector. So taking, oh my gosh. Somebody was drumming this color pencil. So when people drum it, then it breaks up the lead inside it. As I'm varying my pressure by pressing a little bit harder on my shadow areas, that is going to give me two tones. Hopefully you don't have a pencil that somebody decided that was a drumstick. That's how to not treat our pencils. The people that drumstick it make you end up having your lead like this. And then that person is just sitting there sharpening all the time because somebody thought it was a musical instrument instead of a tool. So we take it. I'm gonna have to find another red, because this one has just been broken by somebody who just thought it was a drumstick and not an actual color pencil. Because I'm not pressing down hard on it and it's breaking its lead over and over again, and that's somebody who just flicked it several times like a drumstick. They thought they were at drum circle. So we take and we're pressing down. So this one's working better. This one somebody respected and didn't drum circle it. Never ever take your pencils and start hitting them on the table. You do that, it destroys the pencil, and then somebody's sitting there wondering why they have to sharpen it over and over again, and that's the reason why. So notice, I now have two tones. I have my red right here. I have my darker shadow, and we can leave this part right here because that's the lightest light, so it's the highlight of it. So right here I can have a shadow, and then I can just lightly color right here, okay? So shadow, we press harder, and then the highlight for the value, you press lighter. So we're just letting that lightest light go in there. So shadow, dark, pressing hard, but not too hard. And then lighter to get your two tones so you have value. Notice I'm really only using one pencil. It's just that red. You don't have to use multiple ones to get your shadow tone. It's just a varying of your pressure. So here's my shadow, because the shadow is coming from where the neck is hitting it. So this part, I'm gonna go darker. And this part right here, I'm going lighter. So I'm not having to press as hard. And I'm gonna go right here on the body. And I'm pressing lightly. And then when I get the reflection, that part where it's in shadow, I press harder. And I'm not gonna worry about if I get out of my lines because I'm gonna put a color behind it. It'll be your choice because we're doing this complementary. You have the red here and I'm gonna have the green. Remember, maybe you picked yellow and purple, maybe you picked blue and orange. And then I'm gonna pick a background color in my picture. And then I can decide whether I'm gonna go with a neutral tone, like a shade, or whether I want to go with a different color. Sadly, it stopped recording halfway through this. So notice whenever I'm doing my artwork, I have my shadows. So I have my lightest light. I'm gonna color lightly for value. My shadows. I've gone into on the pedestal, which is my complementary color, getting my dark shadows, getting my highlights. I'm gonna have some highlights right over here. And then I have some shadows, and then I have the area that I've gone lightly. So now I'm gonna start to create my background. I'm gonna create a floor. So I'm gonna make a little horizon line. I'm gonna do that with brown. And then I'm going to think about what my background might be. And I'm gonna go with black, so it's still focusing on my complementary colors. I can just go lightly on that. It'll kind of make it like a gray. I think my table has some stuff on it, so it's making a little bit of a texture on it. And this also hides if I've gotten out of my circle as well, by adding that color in the background. Whenever I'm close to where my reindeer is, take the time to make sure that I'm not coloring in sidelines, because we want to color in neatly. That's another one of our icons. I can color in neatly and completely. So that's my reindeer done. There's some of those little chips. I can go back over there to fix any of those little shavings that got out of the way. You know, my red smudges that were on there. So if we look at it, I have my highlights for my lightest light, my normal tone, my reds. So I've created value because I have my 3 tones for that color. I've also learned about my complementary colors by creating red and green together. Maybe you did blue and orange. Maybe you did yellow and purple. Because remember that other icon is I can learn about complementary colors. So I can learn about value, I can learn about complementary colors. We also got I can learn about texture because we're making it all shiny, looking like it was part of a metal sculpture that has reflection that's based off of balloons. Okay, and our artist we're learning about today was Jeff Koons, and we made it based off of his balloon sculptures.